Welcome back to some more DBD news. My name is Wolfyowns, and today we have a very special episode to talk about. Oh man, the dev stream was so cool. We're gonna talk about Freddy Nerf updates and what's going on with that. But first off, I do want to let you console players know that Freddy is now out for Xbox One and PS4. He's out. Make sure you go and buy him right now. Have fun. He's an awesome killer. But anyways, jumping into the dev stream now. I'm going to let them talk about something special for you guys, and we'll talk about it afterwards.
To share or not to share. So, in the year and a half or so since we launched this game, actually even before that when we were in beta and alpha before that, we developed a way of talking with you out there, our players, our community. We decided to be as transparent as we possibly could, and we decided to try to share with you some of the development questions that we have and some of the discussions that we have internally, and to try to give you a window into what it is to develop a game and how it is for us to keep this game alive and to tweak it and balance it as we go along.
Ideas we're working on, testing, stuff like that.
So I wasn't here last week, but there were some discussions about all the potential things that we were talking about that could be done to...
A portion of the potential things, that's the thing also.
Talking about what we could do to modify, hopefully improve, balance Freddy. We shared a lot of our thought process and about the things that we thought we might do or might not, and...
That we were actually testing.
And the response we've seen in many ways was overwhelmingly negative, because some people took that as this is what's gonna happen tomorrow, and they went batshit crazy with it, which is not good. And it brought the question that we asked ourselves: are we sharing too much? Are you even interested in knowing these things, that these discussions that we have internally, or is it just more noise that we're sending your way and it's just scaring people? We don't have an answer. We don't. Right now, our initial reaction is to say, we shouldn't share these things. But you know what?
I'm for sharing, maybe sharing more, like maybe having like a banner around the stream, like splashing red saying, this is only test ideas or something like that.
Even then, it could be taken out of context. That wouldn't be the first
it's harder when you clip something and it's flashing, But the idea is to communicate better, or just maybe we're gonna wait until we have certainty before we say
the
stuff.
other things that I want to say, there's two things that come out of this. Is one of it is that we will talk in a little moment. We'll have Stefan come in and talk about the patch that's coming today, which will have an impact on Freddy. And
changes.
Hopefully improving the fun for people playing Freddy or playing against Freddy. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about is there's a lot of negative reviews right now on Freddy. Well, I'm saying a lot. Compared to the rest of the reviews on the rest of our stuff, there's a significant number of negative reviews. And I am absolutely okay with you writing a negative review if you don't like what we've done. That's absolutely fair. But some of those reviews are saying the killer was fun and then they destroyed it by changing it, which we haven't done. And putting a negative review for something that we haven't done is not fair, essentially. So that's it. That's it, really. So if you've written a review right now that's negative for Freddy because you hate what was discussed in the last stream, it is not representative of what's in the game, and that's not right. So I don't know what else to do with that. I'm just saying, please revise it if you can. Even if you leave it as a negative review, but go write you don't like what the killer is right now, I will be okay with that. I'd rather you change it to a positive one, but you know what? If that's your true opinion of the product, that's absolutely fine. But don't rate what was said on the stream. Rate what exists in the game, please.
Alright, so I feel this is the most important special part of the dev stream to talk about besides the Freddy Nerf updates. So, basically, a lot of you guys, not like my fans in particular, but some people, maybe even some of you guys, went and gave Freddy very negative reviews, saying he was fun, but they ruined him, which would make no sense because he wasn't even ruined at the time that those were posted. Now, you need to keep in mind the dev stream is just ideas that they have. None of it is set in stone. Things can change, but they're all just ideas. So the thing here that I find is a big problem is that I don't feel you guys should be leaving negative reviews based off the dev stream because it's not always set in stone, as I said. How would you like it if someone came to your house, put you in jail because you could commit a crime? Yeah, you could commit a crime, but you haven't, so I'm going to just put you in jail because I want to be safe. I want to just reinsure that you can't commit a crime. That's not really fair. And to the devs and to this game, it's not really fair. Now, if we do this more often, then they could share less news with us, which means I don't get to make these awesome videos for you guys, which means less news videos for you guys, or maybe no more news videos. So I do highly recommend that you guys go and change your review. If you left a negative review, go back and change it to a positive one, or just don't leave one at all, based off of the Dead by Daylight stream, because the nerfs did come out, yes, but not all of them came out. They did listen to us, but not only that, like, the nerfs that came out for Freddy today that we're going to get into later are not even that big of a deal. They're not that bad, actually. They were very fair for survivors, and they were very fair for killers, and I can greatly appreciate that. You got to give the devs credit where credit is due. They do their best, and they make the game really fun. That's why the game is still alive to this day. So do make sure you go and change that if you did leave one. I highly encourage it. But anyways, let's talk about the add-on known as MLGA. And can you get banned for it?
MLGA. Yeah.
So
we are in contact with the guy who does that thing. And we've mentioned it in the past because many people use it. And there are many functions in there that we thought were good. And for instance, the ping indicator was something that people used it for. We thought it was a good thing, good enough that we actually put it in our game. There seems to be a discrepancy in the way that's calculated. It doesn't really matter. The point is, we thought it was good, we let people use it, and we added some of that into our game. Now, I don't want to spend too much time on MLGA, but the important bit is there was a big change done lately that made it so that
it's been a while, but
some of the tags that were added were way too much. So there's a function in there to flag people that you block so that you can disconnect immediately if you see that they exist for many, many reasons. Some of them now being something like, hey, that person has played Freddy in the past, therefore I don't want to play with them. And this is certainly not a behavior we want to encourage. So we asked them to remove that from MLGA, and the reaction was moderately upset, I'd say, at best. So we are removing MLGA from the whitelist, and all that means is that right now, if you
promise
if
what's
you
gonna
use
happen
it
if
for
you're
what it
using
was doing, which is the ping indicator,
all that
and
it says.
there was another thing I forgot. It doesn't matter. If you're using it for the base, the backup and the ping indicator work.
I think
and
that is
the way they are, and they will not flag you as a third-party, bad software. But in the future, there will be changes done to that, and if it flags you and you get banned because of that, we will not cry.
Also,
disconnecting repeatedly is still a bannable offense.
This is something we also talked about before, and we're gonna have talks in the team about it. But like block system and everything. But this is not done yet, and this is why we're not talking further about it right now.
So basically what they're saying here is that MLGA can possibly get you banned now. So I highly recommend not using it anymore. Basically, the creator added a part in MLGA that allows you to block players so you never get put against that player anymore. And the devs didn't like that. That's the reason why they got rid of profiles in the first place. So the thing that I think is really funny here is that this guy's getting upset about them wanting him to remove that part in his add-on, in his mod. Yet, this is not even his game. His add-on, his mod, MLGA, does not exist without Dead by Daylight. That means nothing without Dead by Daylight. Like his mod, his add-on requires Dead by Daylight to exist, which is not his game, yet he's gonna get upset about it. That is really funny to me. If this was his game, I'd understand more, but that's just really funny. Anyways, I do highly recommend not using that anymore because you could possibly be banned and you do not want to get banned. Anyways, moving on to the next part here, we're going to talk about med kits and the add-ons for them.
So, the Nightmare. Apparently, no, obviously we talked about changes last week. We saw a lot of feedback about the Nightmare and people playing on it, and we read a lot of it. So thank you for the feedback.
Just quick note on that, feedback that is nicely done is most definitely more important to us
constructive feedback
than screaming.
Fantastic.
Just saying, just detail.
But we listen. So the idea is that we're looking to make a healthy and balanced game for everybody. This isn't to target one group or another.
It should be fun. That's the whole point.
The whole thing is for it to be fun. Yes, yay, fun. And I'd like for us to embrace this. You know, that's the idea. What we're looking for is just to have a healthy game, which is something that we want to achieve together. So hopefully one day we can achieve a point where everybody's happy with a patch, devs and the players, including killers and survivors. You know, and people who play both, because there's people like that too.
Yeah.
You know. Anyways, so to go on with this, we've made some adjustments to our patch. With the review and the comments that we've seen. We are happy to be able to do this and be able to talk with our fans. This is not something that everybody is capable of doing, and we have the ability to actually adapt.
It's true.
So just to go through the fluff, maybe not even fluff, this is something that's general for the game. We've improved the needle and thread and the surgical suture add-ons for the med kits.
Why?
You want to know why?
Yes.
Oh, okay, fine. Basically, the skill check chance was actually giving you a negative chance. We apologize for that. That was an oversight on our side. It is actually going to be a flat increase now, a flat 3% increase and a flat 5% increase. We've increased the surgical suture to be a moderately increased skill check chance, which is 5%. You can mark it. So after that, we've also looked into all the med kits. As we were stumbling about, we noticed that medkits only heal others faster, and this was not indicated in the description. We have updated the description. Medkits heal others faster, not yourself.
So when you use self-care, should you use your medkit?
You use it more efficiently. That's the whole point of the efficiency there, right?
There you go.
So healing item text change, that was exactly what we just talked about. Great, next one.
But doesn't seem to have
That
much
was
to
kind
do
of
with
a
the Nightmare.
fixing.
This was
of a
fixing.
bug.
These are just adjustments.
Right.
No, I
While
know.
I was looking around the engine, I was like, these are things that we should definitely
That's
fix.
not what people are waiting for. Right?
I know, but I said the fluff first, and I get
okay.
the things
All
as the
right.
general stuff. You know,
No,
building
that's
up,
okay.
building up to the point.
Alright, so basically medkits were not working the way they were supposed to. They're fixing that, which is really good, and the add-ons will start working the way they're supposed to now. And also, it's a great honor to be able to hear from the devs about the game. This is what keeps the game alive. They do such a great job on the game. That's why the game is so alive, it's doing so well. It's because they do a really good job at adding content and keeping us informed. So yet again, highly recommend you change those reviews. It will mean a lot to them and to the game. It'll keep it still alive. Anyways, on to the Freddy changes.
Generator breaking animation does not have the proper sound. This bug has been fixed. It is now playing the hook sound. No, I'm just kidding. It is playing its proper sound with its animation.
I was going to say, what?
We add a put to sleep animation effect when Freddy opens up the locker, which is a quality of life improvement. We've made a killer VFX appear, so he basically has a animation when he appears. He doesn't just pop in, pop out, which is another quality of life improvement that we've done.
Does that change anything on the gameplay?
No.
Thank you.
No. We've added blood skill checks. When you fail a skill check while in the Nightmare, where it explodes with blood, again, for your fanfare enjoyment. Let's keep going. So, we've now increased the terror radius of Freddy.
Yeah, that's kind of a big deal.
This is a bigger deal, yeah. But keep in mind, what it was before was 16 meters. What his terror radius allowed was for survivors to hide within it to not be seen, right?
Yeah.
This is modifiable by perks such as Modern Abuse to make it smaller, which will make it so that Freddy has almost always a sight on a survivor who is sleeping, right? What we're looking to do is to increase his terror radius 8 meters right? So normally the terror radius is 32 meters. His is going to be 8 meters smaller.
So 24.
Yeah. This gives a little bit more room to survivors to be able to maneuver around Freddy and try to lose him for a moment, right?
Is the lullaby going to be directional?
No. The lullaby is staying at 24 meters. It is the same as the terror radius to keep consistency's sake between the two of them. Mind you, the lullaby cannot be adjusted using terror radius adjusting add-ons, just
It's
like the Huntress.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes. Okay. And the 24-meter range is something that we're looking into doing potentially for the Hag as well, as we want to do increments of 8. This is more.
So basically, as a survivor, if I want to juke and stealth a little bit, I have a little bit more room to do it because of the terror radius.
Yes.
But once I get out of his terror radius, or if he modifies it with monitor and abuse, for example, I still get seen, right? So he doesn't lose that.
Exactly.
Thanks.
Yeah. There's no time delay. We talked about a 10-second time delay. We tried it out. It was not as fun as having a 24-meter range. The 24-meter range does change from the 60-meter range where you have a little bit less play in terms of surprise, but we've also made a change to adjust for that. Spine chill, premonition, and alert and object of obsession still trigger while the nightmare is not seen to survivors, right? So you can use these as tools to help you as well. Premonition and spine chill are both general perks. I think.
Alright, so this is the first change for Freddy. Basically, they did not go with the idea to where you would have a 10-second delay if you got out of Freddy's terror radius, which was kind of a big change. It would have been a huge nerf to Freddy. So basically they changed it to where he has a bigger terror radius, which means you can't be seen as easily unless you're using monitor and abuse. And this will allow survivors actually to make more plays while they're in the dream world around Freddy. I actually really like this change. It doesn't hurt Freddy too much for higher rank play, and it does give survivors more of a chance to actually juke Freddy and do a really cool like maneuver or something and actually lose him for a moment to actually try to get a skill check. His terror radius basically now is normal killer size terror radius. It's basically trapper size and, you know, every other killer besides certain ones like Myers. So this is a really good change. I actually really like this change. Like I said, the devs, they really listened to us. They really got our feedback. Basically what this shows is that the devs, they really truly care about how we feel about the game, and they really care. They actually want to make it better for both sides. So make sure, as I stated many times so far, to go change your negative review if you left one, or even go put a review on there, because they really do care. Anyways, moving on to the next change for Fred Boy.
So we removed. So this is a big one as well. We know that the slugging game for Freddy was had a higher frustration level than most other slugging characters or killers in the game at the moment. One of the key factors in that was the fact that you had to wake somebody up before you had to heal them, and that puts you in a vulnerable situation and normally went down for a trade, which is okay, but at the same time, it was very frustrating for a lot of players. It ended up being a lot of just people on the ground and then just a slugfest, where the fun is not there in that aspect. We like how fast it is to pick somebody up. I know people have talked about making it even quicker, possibility, we don't know just yet, but we're going to make it faster for Freddy by making it so that you don't have to wake somebody up before you heal them. You can just heal them, and once they are healed to injured from the dying state,
yeah, not like
they will be awoken.
You're using your heal 1 second on them and they wake up. That's not it.
No,
you have to finish the whole heal.
Yeah, finish the heal.
Get them up.
When they get
and
back
then
up,
they wake
up.
Yeah, yeah. And when you say finish the whole heal, it's wherever they finished off at. So if they finished off at where the fully recovered they can get to, and you finish it up, they're awoken, they can get good to go. Let us know how you feel about these changes now if you'd like, or in a post. It will probably be easier for me to read them. I would love to know. Adrenaline is now waking people up when it triggers. This will work at all levels, 1, 2, and 3. In addition to that, Adrenaline got a slight buff to tiers 1 and 2 to make them more similar and have a consistency between all levels. Yeah. What changes between each level is the cooldown, so 60, 50 to 40. Other than that, you still get the 150% speed boost. You get a speed boost for 5 seconds across all levels, and you heal 1 health state, regardless of what state you were in, whether you were dying or injured, when the perk triggers.
Question.
This has been updated, yes.
What about Blood Warden?
What about Blood Warden?
Yes.
I was getting there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought we.
No, it's there.
Okay.
That's on page 10. Jesus. Killer running speed is slowed when transition is initiated. This is something that already existed.
Oh, yeah.
This is something that we talked about in the spotlight as well. So the time that we released with was 1 second, which is completely negligible. It did not work. The time that we were looking for was something more like 3 seconds. During these 3 seconds, keep in mind the slowdown of the Wraith is incredible. We are looking at this. This is part of the Wraith cube. We can talk about this later. We haven't forgotten about you. Leg day. For the killer slow, it is not going to be down to 1.5 meters a second.
No.
It is going to be much more feasible, like more usable in a lot of aspects. It basically gives, if the survivors react right away, I think about 4 or 5 seconds to catch back up to them if you were behind them. During the dream transition, we've allowed you to blink in and out of existence, in view rather, during the time that you are going through the dream transition. You're going to blink in and out twice for 2 seconds, and with a time delay of 1 second between each blink.
And it's going to be a set sequence,
Exactly.
so you can actually put that into good use.
Exactly.
Because you know that you'll be appearing and then disappearing and appearing and disappearing, and you could literally look elsewhere to try to trick them.
We do not have a way to show the killer at the moment in the game when you are blinking in and blinking out. We are looking for ways to do this. If you have suggestions, please fire away.
So that slowdown.
Yes.
So when you start, you put someone asleep, you get slowed.
Yes.
If you put another person asleep, do they add up or do they restart?
They would restart.
Restart the slowdown.
They should be restarting
Okay.
the slowdown. It should be 3 seconds maximum. each
Okay.
time.
So if I cast on you,
If you
cast
put me to
on
sleep,
you,
then you put Matt to sleep
it's only the 3 second, the last one that's gonna go through
from the time that you
from the time that you did. Okay.
Okay, so there's quite a bit there, I know, but let's talk about Freddy Slug. So, if you remember, I made a video not too long ago about Knockout Freddy and how strong it was, and basically it was really strong because you had to wake the survivor up first, and then you were able to heal them, which it caused a lot of problems because it made Slug Freddy really strong, and that's not a fun way to play the game. It's not fun for survivors at all, and I honestly feel like this had to be changed. So I'm actually really glad that this is getting changed. So now if you heal a survivor off the ground, it will also wake them up at the same time. I feel this is a really healthy change, and it was very necessary. Anyways, let's move on to the next part of the dev stream, where, if you remember, they talked about nerfing Remember Me to where you lose your stacks, or at least half, when you kill the obsession. So let's hear what the devs have to say about that, and I'll talk about it afterwards.
So, the Remember Me perk.
Oh yes.
This is not, the change is not going in the build. When I talked about having a larger downside for Remember Me, which is my words that Dave had mentioned, was because I believed that Remember Me might be too frustrating for survivors, and I wanted to see if there was a way to keep the obsession in play and keep it fun. At first we were talking about even removing all the tokens when you killed the obsession, and people were like, whoa, you can't do that, that's insane. We want to
I was saying that.
Yeah, I know. You were not the only one. And I was like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Like, can we look at like maybe half? We can try this out. So what we had done, we proposed a change, an adjustment for it. But after the overwhelming responses and what we've seen and the usage of the perk, we see that this is not something that's needed now. This might be something we do later, or there might be another adjustment of some sort. But this is not something that will be changing at the moment.
All right.
So thank you. You've been heard. I think everyone's been heard. This is good.
Woo! That is awesome. So, Remember Me is not getting nerfed. Like they said, we hear you, we understand how you feel, and that's awesome. Like, the devs do such an amazing job. They care so much about us, and they listen to our feedback so much, and this is really good. So, basically, Remember Me is now going to stay how it is, which is really good. So make sure you still enjoy using your Remember Me. Really awesome perk for locking the gates up. That's really cool, because now it still makes Freddy's late game build still pretty good. So that's really awesome. I am definitely excited about that. I hope you guys are excited about that too. But let's talk about Freddy's other perk, Blood Warden, and let's hear what they have to do and changes they have in store for that.
Blood Warden thing. This is the last thing.
Okay.
Blood Warden was something we were going to look at as well. Now, Blood Warden has adjustments planned, but this is for the future. This will not be coming in this patch.
This is the moment where it flashes.
Yeah, but that's it. So that's why I'm wondering why we're talking about this during the patch notes.
Because this is something that they mentioned as well, and I think this is very worth mentioning, just this part in particular. We would love to add feedback to make the perk activation clear for the killer in general, and we would like to make it so that it can block the hatch in addition to the exit gates, which I think would be really fun and really cool. Once we can get the art and everything going for it, it will be easier to put it together. So this will be something that's coming in the future. Again, you've been heard, and we're listening.
Oh my god, yes, that's awesome. So not only is Remember Me staying how it is, they are also going to be buffing Blood Warden, and that is awesome. So if you don't know, Blood Warden, when you hook a survivor at the end of the game, it ends up blocking the gates it ends up blocking the exits for a good minute, so you cannot leave the game. That is very awesome. Now it is also going to block the hatch, which makes it more interesting to use. It makes me want to use it even more because it will block the hatch too. That's cool. Anyways, I'm really glad it's getting buffed. It deserves a buff. But let's talk about a bug in the game right now, the Naruto run bug.
Issues that have been fixed also. The Naruto bug is is fixed, which was freaking hilarious, but caused you to drop in the world, which was not very funny. Yeah. Brightness of the dream state in treatment theater has been adjusted. Yeah. That has been asked a lot. And then I think, like, if you we're gonna answer other questions. We're gonna show the roadmap, what's coming up. Also what bug and issues we're working on right now. I think the most important thing on the patch notes is for loss of progress. We are actually rolling in the fix for a small amount of the players right now. Our testing phase has been good, and now we're rolling the fix for a small amount of the players, and if everything goes well in the next month or so, everybody is going to be on the new system. So that's really good.
The good old Naruto run bug. Basically, if you got saved right before you died, your character would get out the hook, and then your arms would be hanging back, like as if you were running on Naruto, the anime, and you would still fall through the world and you would die. So regardless, you still died, and it was really funny. It was a really funny bug. I really thought it was funny. So basically, loss of progress. Slowly but surely, we are getting there. This is going to be there sooner or later. I cannot wait. It's going to be so awesome for them to fix this, so that nobody ever loses their progress ever again. It will never happen. I cannot wait for the future for this to come out. It's going to be awesome. I'm excited. I cannot wait. Anyways, let's talk about the Shack Pallet. Is it an exploit?
Pallet issue. So survivors getting caught in the Shack Pallet. This is still under investigation and still trying to fix this. Just a note for killers, if you are leaving survivors there to gain an advantage, read the rules. Leaving survivors there to gain an advantage could be considered as an exploit. Yeah. So, for example, played a game where a Myers just stood there, got evil within 3, broke the pallet, and grabbed 2 of us. So that was
unpleasant.
I didn't personally do anything about it, but it is unpleasant.
Alrighty, so basically, there's a pallet at the shed that if you vault over it, sometimes you will get stuck in the pallet and you cannot do anything as a survivor until the killer breaks the pallet. So, as killer, just break the pallet, just let the survivor go, because leaving them there to get a tactical advantage is taking advantage of an exploit, which is not good because you can get banned for doing exploits. So be a nice killer, break the pallet, let them go, chase them, you know, just let them free. Also in the dev stream, we're going to be talking about Myers now, and what happened to Myers' stock sound.
So, this was an issue. This is a bug. Basically what happened was Myers lost his stock stinger. When he looks at you and he stalks you for a period of time, then eventually you're going to hear a sound saying that Myers is stalking you. So that was gone for a period of time. This has been gone for a few weeks at least. I've been looking at the stats to see how Myers is doing. Because if this was something that would make him overly strong, we would notice it. If this would make him weaker, we would notice it as well. It seems like he got a little stronger, which is great. He's got 2 other indicators where you can see him, because the only way that he can stalk you is that if he sees you directly. You have a third-person camera.
Yeah.
There is no way.
You have an edge.
There is no way that he can see you without you seeing him. So you have to actively look for him. Seeing as Nightmare is now an invisible killer, the Wraith is going to be getting a buff in that regard as well. Myers would be poorly left behind in some aspects when you get these kind of buffs. So this is actually a happy bug. I think this is a great thing. I think we're going to keep it as it is with no stinger. Let us know what you think, but I don't see this as being a problem.
It makes Evil Within One Meyer scratching mirrors really funny.
Really funny, yeah.
Oh my god, did you hear that? The Wraith is going to be getting a buff. Oh my god. Being stealth is going to make Wraith... Oh, I cannot wait. Oh, man. Anyways, my brain is all over the place right now. So, basically, it was a bug where Myers' sound is gone when he's stalking you. That's a bug, but it actually makes Myers stronger. Slightly stronger, but it actually makes him better, which is good because Freddy is a completely stealth killer. You don't know where he is. You don't see him at all, which is important for Myers and the Wraith to both get buffed so they can keep up with Freddy, which is really awesome. I really like these 2 ideas. That's really good. Oh, man, I cannot wait to see what they do about the Wraith. Oh, it's going to be so cool. But yeah, that was a bug. Anyways, moving on to suggestions.
Oh, here. Do you look at suggestions sections at all? Any idea that ever interested in you? Because many people still creating their own suggestion, but none of you dev ever say a word about it in stream, which is false, by the way.
Yeah. It's funny because we get that question often, and we answer it the same way all the time, which is, yes, please keep doing that. We do look at it.
But I want to go a step further.
Yes, because that one is amazing.
Yeah, so Soul Taker, well, no, there's a lot of them are amazing. But anyway, Soul Taker 669 posted a great suggestion. He talks about how to rework the perk and a used token system. I don't know if we're going to go with exactly that, but these are the types of things that I love to see. I love to read. This is constructive feedback and great ideas, creativity. It's fantastic. So we're definitely looking. Yeah. We definitely see.
So we are looking. We're not always responding, and a lot of the time we're responding in a more personal, one-on-one manner, so that we can actually have a conversation more in depth about these subjects. So please continue.
But with that being said, it doesn't mean that when we read, he's going to just go into the game or anything like that.
And it also means that it's possible for you to write something super interesting, and we just don't answer because we can't answer every single suggestion out there.
Alright, so basically, like we have covered multiple times in this video, that the devs actually do care, they actually do listen, they hear the feedback, they hear the suggestions. That's why all the nerfs for Freddy didn't actually get put in the game. They were all just ideas, but they actually heard us, they actually listened to us, which is a big deal. A lot of game designers do not listen to their community, which is actually, like I said, a really big deal. So, this is really good. Oh man, this is just I love the devs. The devs do such a good job. A lot of people might hate on them and stuff, but the devs do such an amazing job for such a cheap game, and it is awesome. You gotta give the devs respect for that. Do keep in mind that your suggestion might not end up in the game exactly how you want it to, but they do read them and they do take them into consideration. So, now we are going to talk about insta-blind flashlights. Will they ever end up being nerfed?
Would you consider changing the way a few survivor items work? For example, brand new part or purple flashlight?
I would be more than happy to consider this. I've been considering this for a while.
Well, not just that, but we do that. We've reworked the brand new parts drastically a little while back. Yeah, we might do it again.
I think we'll do it again. And there's one other thing for the Insta-blinds.
Insta-blinds?
Yeah, we can talk about this.
Yeah.
Really quickly.
So Insta-blinds, really quickly. All insta-blind components, modifiers had 4 modifiers within them. So basically when it said like increases the power against the killer, increases the flashlight's effects, it was increasing the brightness of the flashlight, which is aesthetic, so it just makes it look like it's brighter. It increases the blind time, so the faster you get blinded. Reveal time, the faster you get revealed, so burned out of stealth. What were the percentages? We had like 25% faster was the highest for tremendously, which is significant. It's a lot.
Yeah.
And the duration was also in there, so for how long you were blinded for. We believe with the 1 second timer for blinding somebody, and the fact that now we've put the count on the client side, so the person who's actually flashlighting is sending the information. It means that the actual flashlighting of the killer is a lot more precise from his side. It gives the survivors an advantage to a certain extent. And that 1 second is very difficult to work with, to make it shorter for that matter. So what I've looked to do and what I've done for the Wraith Cube, this is where it's slated at the moment, is to remove the blind time and the reveal time and just keep the duration and the brightness, right? So we'll blind you for a longer period of time. This is still a very important part and a valid part of the add-on, but it will no longer have the quicker blind times, right? So we're going to take a look at this. We're going to see how it plays in game. I believe this will be more comfortable and helpful for everybody. You can still blind killers. That was not the intention. We still want to have that kind of gameplay in. We are also looking at other things for flashlights. This is not the only thing we're ever going to do on flashlights. It's not how that works.
And this is not solid fact, by the way. This is what we're doing right now.
I'm testing this out. I need to know.
Oh my god, finally the purple insta-blind flashlight is finally being dealt with. So, this is basically getting nerfed because even if you're a survivor main, you're probably not going to admit this, but the insta-blind flashlight was extremely OP. It was extremely strong. It's an extremely strong thing because literally when you shine it at the killer, you can blind them in literally half a second. Like, you just shine at them for half a second and then they're blind, and then that's it. It was extremely OP for the survivors to have this item, and I'm actually glad that it's being nerfed because it was really strong. It wasn't fair because the killer has no time to react to such things. Now, they are going to keep longer blind durations, and they're going to add other things for the flashlight in time, so I cannot wait for this. This is actually a really healthy change, and I am definitely looking forward to this. This is pretty good. Alright, so I do recommend you use all your insta-blind flashlights now because they are going to change in the future, so go crazy, go wild.
Can I say one thing about Wraith?
You can say whatever you want. Ooh, that's not true.
One thing.
That's not true.
One thing about the Wraith is that he can open up lockers while he's invisible.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
A slight thing, but it should be fun. If Freddy can do it, why can't the Wraith? We're going to have a fun time.
That's exactly the argument he made. Philip, I mean.
Philip?
And,
yeah.
And we said,
well, I saw it, and I saw the little meme. He was sitting at the bottom, and he was chatting with them, He buffed me, and I was like,
oh my god, I cannot wait for the Wraith Cube. Alright, so basically, today, during the dev stream, we got to hear, so far, 2, count them, 2 Wraith buffs, and there are still more to come during the Wraith Cube next month. Hopefully, it's next month. I'm hoping it's next month, but oh man, that is so cool. There's so much coming for the guy. He deserves it. Ever since the start of the game, the Wraith has been the weakest killer, and I am extremely excited for him to get buffed up. He really, really needs it. And he can open up the lockers when stealth. I'm really curious how that works. Like, if I open up the locker, do I put you on my shoulder and now I carry you around while I'm invisible? Or is it more of a thing where if I open up the locker, I uncloak myself and then I put you on my shoulder? I'm pretty sure that's how it would work, but I'm not positive because of the fact that Freddy can carry you while he is stealth, so while he's invisible. So I'm really curious how that all works. I am definitely looking forward to all this. This is going to be awesome. So that is going to be it for the dev stream. I do want to talk about being fair to the devs. The devs do such a great, amazing job. They gave us such an amazing game, and they actually do listen to our feedback. So out of this dev stream, I thought this dev stream was really good. It was really heartfelt. It meant a lot. And I honestly think that some of you guys who left negative reviews about the killer being nerfed already when he wasn't nerfed should definitely go back and look at your look over your reviews and change them, make them positive. I think they all should be mostly changed to positive because Freddy, he's a really cool killer, and the nerfs that they actually put in the game for Freddy aren't that big of a deal. He's actually going to be still playable at higher ranks. He's not as great still because he's still like really weak 'cause he's really slow at getting the job done, but he's still pretty playable, and at lower ranks he's still going to be pretty good. So Freddy is still pretty good killer, and I definitely think you guys should change your reviews on him. Anyways, that is going to be it for the DBD news today. Tonight at 10 o'clock news, is Matthew a Time Lord?
Okay, that was not supposed to be in there. That's strange. That's my mother sent me a picture.
Okay,
that's
well,
my uncle in the corner, and he looks exactly like me. That's crazy.
Can we roll it again? Do you mind?
Look at that.
Okay, look at the guy up to the left.
That's my uncle.
That is not
Vital.
Matt.
That's not me. That's so there.
Okay,
my mother sent me
we
that.
have an insight into Matt's family now.
I am not adopted, I think. Anyway, so I don't know why that picture ended up in there. I just dragged
Copy
it from
and
my
paste.
phone. Okay, that was interesting.
At least it was just a family picture. And
Yeah,
not
it could have been much
something
worse. Not that I
worse,
carry
you know?
anything worse on my phone, but you know, could have been Cooper.
You're a Time Lord. People are spamming that you're a Time Lord.
I was wondering what I was doing in there.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Bjorn is like, well, they put it there, so, you know.
You're like Ron Burgundy. You'll just play whatever we put in there. You don't ask questions.
I'm not gonna lie, that was great.
Okay.
Next week, you can see my family.
So the next.
Nerf the uncle.